advanced automation, and I like it because we play with Affinity. Remember that in the basic automation we sent sites from the evaluation phase, the prospects. Some stayed in null. Others went directly as prospect in the analysis phase. We automated so that the affinity was calculated automatically, and when they had low affinity they were dismissed. So here we have to have prospect that have calculated the affinity automatically, and that meet the quality criteria that we have marked of red level, affinity, etc. And here we have the calculated affinities that have been calculated automatically. So far so clear. That is the basic configuration of automation. Now we begin to find certain functions such as this that already depend on affinity terms. So we have waited now that we have the affinities calculated automatically. I'm going to mark it. And we're going to say move from analytics to management, the sites that have the viability, I don't care. Fusion rank for this project, and for the course we are talking about a minimum of 25 fusion rank. Red level, which is the medium or low risk level, affinity will be medium or high. But now I'm going to tell you something. What happens is, imagine that you have this bicycle business, and here it tells you what words. Remember, words are words, not terms. Now we will talk about that. Words are relevant to your business. And suddenly you say, cyclotourism. If you put cyclotourism as relevant, but then it turns out that we are going to keep it. When we get here we realize that they don't pass analysis sites. Because we already had this one, there are people who talk to us with support and tell us, hey, it doesn't happen anywhere. So let's see. In order to configure the automation, I am going to recommend something. More than recommending, it is necessary to do something. Look at 10 affinities. And look for terms that appear in the center and that you consider relevant, and write them down if you want, and not from memory. Cycling, routes, bicycle, stages. Well, I'm already seeing where it goes. Logically also bicycles, wheels. Look how bicycles is always repeating. Bicycles, and let's see. Bicycle, cyclists. Cycling is repeated a lot. So once you look at 10 affinities, you think one thing. Maybe you are enthusiastic about cycle touring. But let's see here, you have a filter. Okay, let's put it in cycle. No affinity cloud. No affinity of the ones you have has the word cycle touring included. Let's see. In this example of the course, keep in mind that maybe Vuobike has nothing to do with cyclotourism. But it happens to us that there are people who add words in the automation that later are not found in their affinity cloud. Here, you have to understand very clearly that I have already explained it to you during the course 1,000 times that affinity is not something that has nothing to do with cyclotourism. Times that the affinity is not something that we take out topics that we invent. It really depends on a crawler that crawls your content and crawls the cycling content in depth. And once it crawls this content, we take out the terms that are relevant. The entities, not the entities because they are not entities. They are the semantic groups that are related. Not even the words, we nuance it. We pull out the roots of the words. We do all this to be able to pull this out. You always look at 10 affinities. Look at the relevant terms. And to make sure you can also add, for example, this, what I say goes bikes, bicycles, bikes, space. Cycling. If I type the two separated by space, it will get me all the ones that include those two words. Here you have them. Okay, 21 of 28 only leaves 7 out. It means that these two words, if they are interesting to automate, to unfollow actually the automation. What it pretends is that you do not pass media that do not have to do with your sector. A term would be to buy bike. This never do it, because the affinity clouds never go by words. Because in reality, as I said, the semantic groups have been taken out and have been nuanced and have been taken out. Words and not terms. Do not add here terms of several words. I do not recommend you, as I said. Add many words with 2 or 3 words to unfriend you enough. And what words are those that I have to put here? Well, it is very simple in reality. You have already looked at 10 affinities. You have seen the terms that are most relevant. You can do it from memory. I have written down some terms that have left me as cyclist. Bicycle, bicycles, bicycles, and bike. You could add all these, but as I said, it is not about adding many words. Here is something that many people do not know, and that is super useful. The link affinity placed here in the relevant word. Adds, for example, bike. It will pass from analysis to management all those prospects that in the affinity cloud have in their root the word bicycle, for example, bicycle. Bikes, okay? It would pass to you as long as they comply with this. If we are going to add another one we have here, cyclists, cycling. Well, if you add cycly, we would already have two roots, bike and cycly. You could put bike and cyclist, but if you put cyclists in plural, it would not bring. If God, that had the cyclist. Like I'm confusing you, but it is very simple. If what you are going to do is to look for sites that have included in their words biki and cycly, so if it has cyclists, it fulfills it. If it has bicycles, it always fulfills it. I always say two words, two or three, or two other roots, and I put the all we are going to save agreement of always here below, and we see as already they begin to pass of analysis. Or they have passed because it depends on if you have already calculated everything already directly. Of it passes them automatically, of analysis to management. It passes them to you, to salesmanus. Remembers that this we had it already. It has passed you sites that have in their affinities. Bicycles, cycling, or whatever it is that you have. This bike, cyclists, logically they have the root cycly and the root bicy. These are already sites that have passed our level of quality with your automation, and that have the affinities so much to level of medium or high quality. That is what we have demanded as the criteria that you are having to disambiguate. And that they pass you sites that have to see yes, or yes, with the cycling. We are going to see from sales, manage normally. If you are going to manage it, you leave it like that you already manage it. I am going to teach you how to use our program to use the topic of inbox mail and all that. But if you want us to manage for you anything, you can automate attention. The passage of sales manus to Manus Fusion, and we want the Manus Fusion department not to manage it in the first place. That tells you this, that you are going to move to Manus Fusion, from salts to Manus Fusion. Okay? Let's do it. The first thing would be to add the words or roots. Here we can put it back from BC. And sickly, I usually make it match, because everything that happens to me, whenever I want it to be managed by the team everything that happens to me from analysis to management will go directly from medium sales to management will go directly from medium sales to Fusion Manus. As long as it has a medium or high affinity with medium is fine. There are people who are obsessed with high affinity. Medium affinity is very good. I have already told you on some occasion, okay? Here you have for us to negotiate for any possibility that gives us the medium, whether it has some rates, that has a way to participate in their blog or on their website in whatever we ask what the options are. But you can also tell us, for example, that you want to put here nothing. You want to send a product or a license of your product or whatever. You want to try it so that you know the influencer that directly. And if you talk about an article, you can put here what you want. We, at the time you mark this check, we will transmit to the person who manages that medium. It is each one of the media, we are going to tell them what you want. This is not automatic. Our team contacts them and says, hey, our client has told us that he wants to send you this. What do you think? And we always give you the feedback of what the site has told us. Okay, this is the function manage that. Well, I already explained it to you, but what we are going to do here is to automate it when you are working with the media. Here is to automate it when you work with clients. If I recommend you, if you want us to negotiate well, or just leave this for us to see any possibility of collaboration, or if you have any kind of product strategy of anything you can think of. Here creativity is the key. We are going to transmit it to the medium.